So as many of you guys know, Henry Cejudo said he was going to retire after the Merab fight, and if he couldn't beat Merab, well, he's gone. I bet not many of you actually knew that he retired officially because the UFC completely shunned his retirement, and I understand why, but I kind of don't because fuck man, that's kind of disrespectful towards Triple C. Now I understand that they may not have wanted to do it in the octagon because realistically he already has had a retirement in the octagon so many years ago, when he retired, obviously, for the first time. But he's still one of the greats of the sport. And I know, like, people go like, oh, fuck, Triple C's cringe, this and that. But he is still one of the best fighters. I don't know, he fights a victim weight, but relax. He is still one of the best fighters that ever graced the octagon, especially in the UFC. And it just feels a bit wrong the way they have treated Triple C. And I also understand that they didn't want to take the spotlight away from Merab so he could have his big moment on the mic and call out Sean O'Malley. So I understand that as well because, you know, we wouldn't have had that Merab moment if it was being overcrowded by a Triple C retirement for the second time. So I get that. But shit, man, Triple C really sabotaged his own career when he retired. I feel like he overestimated his worth and sold himself out completely. Like, I think he thought that he was worth way more to the UFC and that the UFC wouldn't be able to go without Triple C. But as you guys saw over the last 3 years, the UFC's been growing. Obviously, it's been prospering, getting bigger and bigger every single pay-per-view event that they have. And they did fine without Henry Cejudo. So when he wanted to come back and wanted this huge contract, I feel like he was in no position because he wasn't champion anymore either. And it's crazy because imagine if Triple C stayed around, he would have made so much money from pay-per-view points, and obviously every single time he defends the belt, he obviously will get a bigger contract if he remains champion, and he was double champion as well, which is ridiculous. It's obviously so sad to see Henry Cejudo end up like this, you know, and I'll get to his pay from UFC 298 in a second, but I think he thought the UFC was just going to roll over and give him a massive contract when he said he was retiring, and then he was going to kind of like unretire, you know, like Conor McGregor spec. But they didn't budge, and to be fair to the UFC, they did fine without him, and I think that he thought that was not going to be the case, you know what I mean? So I just quickly want to show you this graph of all the fighters' pay from UFC 298 that they received. And it's kind of fucked up when you look at it that Mackenzie Dern is getting paid $200k just to show up. And to be fair play, because she's completely finessed the UFC. But fuck, how is she getting paid more than Henry Merab, 4 times what Ian Gary's getting paid? And I know, like, obviously people have contracts, and I'm pretty sure, like, an example of this is when Eddie Alvarez fought Conor McGregor. He didn't earn the huge payday that people would earn from a Conor McGregor fight because he was already under contract for a certain amount. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. That was a huge L for Eddie Alvarez, so I understand why Ian Gary is, you know, he's probably going to get a new contract after this fight, but even still 4 times Ian Gary's pay. And even 2.5 times more than Amanda Lemos, who realistically, Lemos is a way more gifted and a way better fighter than Mackenzie Dern. And Mackenzie Dern has never been for a title shot. She's never had a title shot. And what's crazy is when she's getting paid 50k more than Triple C. Triple C, I know he fucked his whole career and I get that. But this guy was once a pretty dominant 2-divisional champion, like, you know what I mean? So it's just crazy to me how Amanda Dern's managed to finesse, and her manager, by the way, GG, that's fucking awesome. I am so confused how Dana White has managed to let so much money through his fingers. Like, now this isn't me dunking on women's MMA. I have a whole video discussing women's MMA. If you want to check it out, I'll put the link in the description. But my point is, number 1, like I said, GG, Mackenzie Dern. I want your manager. And 2, I just can't understand how Triple C was making so little money and why he would even come back for such little money. I mean, I guess maybe you can't even say he was hungry though, because you can't be as hungry as these guys like Merab, and you know what I mean? Like, it just sort of the whole Triple C situation baffles me. But I hope Triple C is a good retirement. I'm glad that he left now and didn't tarnish his reputation and career too much. To be honest, the pay that he was receiving just isn't worth getting beaten up for and losing brain cells for that much money. He's probably already made a lot of money from his YouTube channel and sponsors and stuff, but shit, man, the way the UFC handled the Triple C situation is low-key disrespectful. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, fellas.